Hey, I'm live. What's up, Vivants? Oops, sorry about that. Happy holidays, guys. It is that time of year when everybody's traveling, myself included, and I am out at SFO right now, about to get on a flight back home. But I thought I'd stop at one of the best wine bars. It has to be the best wine bar in any airport I've ever seen. I always see it here when I'm here early in the morning for a flight, and I needed to stop in because I had a late flight tonight, and I was like, I'm gonna finally get a glass of wine here. And I have to tell you, this place is awesome. This is Vino Volo. So right here in Terminal 2, I'm flying out of Alaska tonight. Sorry, the state of California via Alaska Airlines. But I always see this place right next to Napa Farms Market where I get my breakfast, and I saw it here and I was like, I'm getting a glass of wine. They did me one better. They do wine flights here, which is awesome. So I'm gonna do 3 wines with you guys today and change it up a little bit. I thought a little change of scenery was good. I had a lot of fun with you at Cheesecake Factory a few days ago. So as you guys are out traveling looking for a glass of wine, if you find yourselves at SFO here in Terminal 2, I highly recommend stopping in here at Vino Volo. They've got everything from super high end. I see some Bond and Harlan and Opus 1 over there, little Silver Oak, to these really funky whites we're gonna be trying today. And this is their winter white flight, and it's something I really love in the wine world when you can taste 3 different wines that are stylistically really similar, but are different, and they're from different places in the world. So right now I'm gonna try 3 different wines. I've got a Hunter Valley Semillon from Brokenwood, a brand that I'm familiar with. They make really beautiful Semillons. Some of the Aussies pronounce it Semillon, for those of you who've done to Australia and notice that they say it that way. I also have a fantastic Roussanne from McLaren Vale from Yangara Estate. Apologies if I'm not saying that correctly. And then third, I've got an albariño from LEIGHT in Spain, and I'm super excited to try all 3. It looks like they have them lined up in the correct order, but I'm gonna go the opposite way because I feel like albariño is gonna be the gentler, brighter, lighter, zippier of the 3, but I could be wrong. So let's get into it. They're telling me on here, this is I'm gonna take this off so you guys can see because they do a really great job with these flights. They have these all set up here so you can see as you're tasting. So if you guys have like a layover or something that you're just chilling, doing something and need a little glass of wine, pretty awesome. Okay, so they're saying on here this is soft peach and chamomile flower. Let's see if I get that. Totally, a lot of chamomile, tons of chamomile. What I usually get with albariño is something a little saltier, a little bit floral, really, really close to something like Pinot Grigio. I have a really, really hard time differentiating between the 2. I think I've mentioned that before. Sometimes they can give off very similar profiles as far as structure. I'm sorry for the noise behind me, by the way. But always a little bit more floral and a little brinier, a little saltier. On the nose, really, really bright, light, zippy, more lemon. Chamomile kind of coming through, really peachy. But I love these wines because they're light and they're bright. If you're somebody who loves Pinot Grigio, Sauvignon Blanc, Sancerres, anything that's on the lighter side of things, you don't like oak, you like a little bit more of that freshness, albariño is an awesome place to go. I really, really love albariños. And you can find them in their, in British Spices where they're more commonly found, but we've got a few in Napa Valley. We've got Hendry by the glass right now, which is really delicious. A little brighter, a little more, a little less fruit, a little less flower, a little less chamomile. But this is really great. This is what I think of when I think of winter white, something that has weight, something that has texture, something that's just kind of like warm and soft and lush and feels a little bit more appropriate for cold weather. Yummy, yummy, yummy. Okay, going to Roussanne. Yeah. Roussanne to me, things like Roussanne, Marsanne, Viognier, those all feel like very wintry whites to me. There's always a lot of texture, a lot of weight, a lot of viscosity, a little bit more of that honeyed, caramelized thing going on in the nose and on the palate. My tasting notes here say tropical fruit and spiced geranium. I've never had spiced geranium. Very interesting. I don't even know what that would taste like, so let's get in. Tropical for sure. Kind of has a, what's the, cantaloupe, a little bit more like a cantaloupe on the nose. So tropical, but not like, not pineapple, not guava, not papaya, more of that like, more melon than tropical fruit. Pretty, it always has like a really nice texture to it, but on the finish, this is what I would consider something that's, what we call phenolically a little bit bitter. So in the back end, just a tiny bit of bitterness, which I actually really like in a wine. So think of like a peach fuzz. Think of that bitterness that you might get, that astringency you might get from a peach skin, and that's what I get in the back end of this. Really, really pretty. Not as textured, not as weighty as some of the other roussannes that I've had. Roussanne, by the way, is very traditionally, very commonly blended with a little bit of Marsanne. You can typically find them in the Rhone. You're finding them more and more in Amador County in California. You find them in Australia, of course, but these whites like to be together. Roussanne by itself, I haven't had a ton of it. I really like it. A little more bitter, a little bit more of a slightly candied finish at the very, very back end, like candied cantaloupe. I can't say that I've ever had candied cantaloupe, but I feel like if I had it, that's what it would taste like. Okay, third wine. Y'all having a good holiday? I hope so. I'm really excited to see my family. I haven't seen them in a few weeks, and that was the first time I had seen them in like 6 months, so too long for me. I like to be home with them. I'll be on the East Coast, so next time you see me, I will be on the East Coast, probably drinking something that I brought home. I have a whole suitcase filled with wine, as I'm sure you can imagine. I take lots of wine with me when I head home. Okay, going to the last wine here. This is the Broken Wood Semillon from Hunter Valley, a region that is known for Semillon. Broken Wood I've had many times before, usually very reasonable bottle. They're saying $33 for the bottle here. I think I've found it on wine.com and in the grocery store for like $15, $16, so I don't know, maybe this is a different version of it, but I really like Broken Wood. I've given it to a number of different friends before, and I think they make really, really quality Semillon. Semillon is commonly blended with Sauvignon Blanc in Bordeaux, so if you ever see a white Bordeaux, a lot of times Semillon is blended into it. This is standing on its own today, and I really like it because there's always, again, a little bit of texture, a little bit more florality, a little bit more of a waxy, weighty, almost honeyed characteristic. So sometimes Semillon can take on that botrycized character, meaning something you would find in something like a Sauterne, like Chateau Yquem, very, very expensive, fancy wine, sweet dessert wine. But this is going to be completely dry, clean, bright style Semillon. Pretty, pretty, pretty nose. That perfect, perfect blend of like seashell and a little bit of honey. I love Semillon. Gorgeous. This actually, these were appropriately done. This is, for me, not what I would normally think of when I think of texture and weight. The Semillon is definitely the lightest of these three. Pretty lifted, pretty bright. Acidity across the board is very medium, but really lovely, and giving me a little bit more of that waxy density on the back end of it, but still really kind of counterbalanced with the acidity. Lovely. Lots of lemon, lots of zestiness, lots of love, and perfect for the holidays. That's all I have. I'm gonna go board my flight now, and before I do that, I'm probably gonna finish all 3 of these glasses. Yay! Happy holidays, everyone. I hope you have a very enjoyable rest of your weekend, and if you are traveling, please be safe, and sending warm wishes to all of you out there.